Well, here we are again, Inspired Tribe. We're so sorry for the technical difficulties. We're waiting for you guys to jump on. Let me share this new link. Emma's already here. Hey, Emma, how's it going? We apologize, but we're gonna make it happen. Hey, Illy, how's it going? Introduce this live stream once again. It's our live stream number 120 here on the Inspired channel. That's how many times we've done this together, Tribe. It's Wednesday. Pretty spectacular year in many ways for so many of you and so many of us, and we're just ready for things to slow down a little bit. I said earlier things are slowing down. Christine looked at me like, not really, but we're ready for things to slow down, ready to kick back a little bit more. Christmas traditionally in our family, and you know, probably that's heritage from Europe, is it's actually more quiet. We're not so much about Christmas parties. We're more about, you know, the cozy stuff and just, you know, lighting a few candles, starting a fireplace, and just enjoying the lights and enjoying the spirit, maybe a few cookies here and there. Yes, it's kicking off the Christmas season, so we're fully there. We're fully here. I wanted to share a little bit of the Christmas spirit with you today, talk about what we feel is important. For those of you who have questions, this is going to be the last live stream for this year, scheduled live stream for 2020. Again, we've enjoyed this so much, 120 times that we've gotten together. My gosh, all the topics, all the center of the circles, all the expansion, all the different people, all the ideas, all the feelings and emotions sometimes, all the topics. I feel like we've traveled around the globe together this year, and we have, you know, not shied away from looking, you know, under the rug and turning every stone and kind of looking at what is there this year. And I wanted to share a story with you all about a Christmas many years ago. Christine and I had just bought a house not long before, and this was our second Christmas at the house. Hey, honey.
Sorry, but
no worries.
The air conditioning was going on for whatever reason.
Might have been the heating. So this was our second Christmas at that house, and it wasn't a very good year. Some things were very exciting, but some things didn't work out the way we planned it. And of course, you know, the kids were little, and we loved making it beautiful, making and decorating, and just Christmas was just, you know, a month that we wanted to make as beautiful as possible for our children. And when Christmas Eve came around, I believe it was the infamous Christmas.
Yes.
So we had just gotten ready. The tree was decorated because to fill you in on the Austrian Christmas tradition. In Austria, it isn't Santa Claus that comes, but something like you would translate it to the child that comes on the eve of Christmas Eve. And basically the children are either in their rooms or they're somewhere out or they're out on a walk. And then the Christ child comes and decorates the tree, or puts up the tree, decorates the tree, and puts the presents there. And so, as you can imagine, with little kids, that kind of a logistical thing that you need to take care of. So our kids were out with the grandparents, and Christine and I worked our magic, decorated the tree as fast as we could. And as we put on the very last ornament, Christine felt that we needed to move the tree, that it wasn't aligned perfectly with the room. And so I agreed, and I crawled underneath the tree and started pushing and pulling a little bit. And this last push was a little too hard because the inevitable thing happened. The tree started leaning and leaning and leaning. at a point, nothing you can do but watch with horror, complete, utter horror. And so the tree fell. Absolutely excruciating sound of breaking ornaments everywhere. It all came to a very abrupt halt. And so we had to redecorate, and I called my dad and I called my brother, and they brought old ornaments in that we put on the back of the tree where no one saw it. And I think within 40 minutes, we got it fixed. And then they all left because the children came back. That's kind of the whole procedure. And then they came back later. Nonetheless, what happened was Kristin and I were standing there and kind of had a moment to ourselves, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. We stood there and looked at the tree, and we're kind of excited about, you know, Christmas and a new year, and also tired from a very long year where things didn't work out the way we wanted to. All of a sudden, and I believe for the first few seconds or so, we both didn't trust our eyes. We saw a dragonfly that just appeared in the middle of winter in our living room in Austria, where it was snowing outside, cold and everything. There was a dragonfly. I thought, this can't be real. And Kristin looked at it and thought the same thing until we said, "Do you see that? There's a dragonfly." And it wasn't small either. It was a big dragonfly. And it flew, on the, like, close to the ceiling, made a few turns and flew around. And then it flew behind the Christmas tree and disappeared. It disappeared into thin air. It was gone. We both saw it. It lasted for like 20, 30 seconds or so. It was absolutely breathtakingly amazing because the climate, I mean, just from a scientific standpoint, biological standpoint, there is no way that the way we would see it, you know us, we saw it as a sign. And we decided to have faith, trust, and embody this state. We had a beautiful Christmas. And I believe it was 2 months later that I got my first record deal. And that happened because of the dragonfly. No, it didn't happen because of the dragonfly, but it was a beautiful sign from God, from the universe. It's something that was so unmistakable a sign. There are just things that you can shrug off and say, well, yeah, they're just there. But a dragonfly in December in Austria is just not something you see. Actually, that's not something you see very often anyways. So it was very, very special that Christmas. And those kind of things kept happening over the years around Christmas. That's why I always say, I don't believe that Christmas is in itself any different than any other month or time of the year. I believe it's our willing magic, and we basically let it in because it's kind of cultural, because, we're conditioned to believe that around Christmas it happens. They happen every day. We're just not as receptive as we are around this beautiful time. And so we cherish this. We listen to the music. The cat baby's there. And we experience more magic, and probably we look for more magic. And one of the things that we or the thing that became so clear this year, and maybe it's something that this is a good time to focus again on, is that everything that we talked about, all the beautiful things, all the meditations, all the techniques, all the things that you can do, taking care of yourself, exercising, healthy diet, all those things are absolutely wonderful, necessary, and beautiful. But there's one thing, if there's one thing that we want to leave you or give you today for the rest of this year and the upcoming years, to renew and intensify your relationship with the Creator. It's a creationship. It really is a creationship. Your relationship with the Creator, whatever that word is for you. For me, it's God. Absolutely, I call it God. And to spend some time with God. I walked for about pretty much in the middle of the night yesterday. It was early morning hours, for about 1.5 hours out in the cold with the dog, and it was just such a pure connection that I felt. And I'm just reminded every single time there's nothing more important in our lives than having that relationship, feeling it, expressing it, experiencing it, intensifying it, allowing it. That, I mean, there's nothing. You can call it, alignment with source. You can call it connecting to the universe. You can call it praying to God. It doesn't matter what you call it, really. The feeling is the key here. But we encourage you to do that, to intensify that, to live that, that's the most intimate thing you're going to do in your life anyways. No one will ever experience what you experience or know how you experience God and how you feel God. The questions you ask, the answers you receive. And this is going to be the foundation for your life if you allow it. This relationship, this guidance, and it's a friendship. It's the most intimate friendship, but it is a friendship. And especially now when things get a little more quiet and laid back, it's a really good time to give yourself some time for solitude. Spend a little time with your thoughts alone, no distraction, no TV, no internet, no screens, no books even. Just a little bit of allowing. Let the messages come through. There are messages. And usually around that time when you allow it, more unfolding happens, more expansion happens, just because this is the purest form. And growing up as a child, I felt that deep connection. And then in my teenage years, it wasn't very cool to have that relationship. And then I might have even gotten cynical certain things in the world. And if there is a higher power, why do we see suffering and pain and all of that? And then you come to realize, I came to realize that there is free will and there's intention and there's vibration and there's the power of thought and all of those things. And then you bring that to the relationship and it changes the quality. You don't see God as a figure that is outside of you that, through will or a fluke decides that something good's going to happen to you or something bad's going to happen to you. That's not how it works. The co-creative teaching that, showing that, living that in, what we do here, what we do in a course, what we do in the calls, what we do with the realizing how powerful creator you are, and that it's a co-creative process, and that this relationship is the most beautiful thing you'll experience in your life. I promise you that. And intensifying it helps with everything. And the more you do that, and people again call it prayer or meditation, the name doesn't matter, but the more you do that, you will just experience less doubt, maybe no doubt whatsoever anymore. And maybe you will experience less fear or no fear whatsoever anymore. So over the next weeks, maybe it's a perfect time to do that, intensify that, renew that, and see that whatever happens on the outside, and things are happening now every day, it's such a fast pace and such a revelation of information out there, that you have a solid rock foundation with this, and you are solid. And the word solid means something. It actually means a lot. It means you have a foundation to stand on. It's like when you build a house, you need a foundation. You need something really solid for the house to be that which you want it to be. And that's the same in our lives. I mean, though there's a strong wind and you might trip for a moment, but you get up and you're strong and you have that. So over the next weeks, maybe that's something you want to cultivate even more. What we're going to do over the next days is chill a little more, take long walks, bake some gingerbread cookies, listen to Christmas music. Very, very cliche. We're going to probably, and that's beginning now, keep the lights on outside pretty much 16 hours a day and all night, especially around the last days before Christmas, just to make sure. That's what I always said, we got to keep the lights on so Santa knows where to go. And we're just having fun with this and in the most beautiful possible state, enjoying spending time with the family, hugging, kissing, doing all this stuff. probably singing some songs. So speaking of songs, the year I got my my first record deal, and we've never released it yet. But if Michael's here today, Joy Gardner, he actually said something that means more to me, being such a being a songwriter and a Christmas aficionado. He said it's his favorite Christmas song. He actually I think 30-piece children's choir, and it was gorgeous. Like many years ago, it was a good night. But I was actually planning on releasing this song this year. But what happened was the Inspired Tribe happened, and we were just having so much fun that I decided to do it next year, because we believe Christmas is still going to be here next year. Dreams are here to live them. Can't you see? It's this time of year. I wish for you and me. Fill your heart with laughter. Spread the love. Christmas will be special with some help from above. Make a wish, it might come true. It can happen to you. Live your dream, feel the light. There'll be magic here tonight. Make a wish, close your eyes, it will come true. Christmas night. Oh, how we love to hear them. Christmas songs are everywhere. Children's eyes are shining, they couldn't be happier. Come on, let's get together, we can make a wish come true. For all of you out there, Merry Christmas to you. Make a wish, it might be true. It can happen to you. Live your dream, feel alive. There'll be magic here tonight. Make a wish, close your eyes, it will come. Close your eyes, it will come true. Christmas night. Thank you. I couldn't hear you sing along. Yeah, that was Make-A-Wish. Thank you so much. Siobhan said Sean singing was my wish. There you go. I heard you. So yeah, that was the first Christmas song I ever wrote. Not the only one, but the first Christmas song I ever wrote. And that all happened in the year that I got my first record deal. And that all happened after the Christmas that we saw the Dragonfly. So believe in it. Visions. Believe in your creations. Believe that desires that are there, I mean real desires, not ego desires, real beautiful desires, the ones that are in your heart. Believe they're there for a reason. Know that God put them there. There's no other way. And know that there's absolutely nothing that can hold you back if you truly know and believe in that which you are and in your dreams. And it just means that there's no doubt whatsoever. Know that. And with that, I want to bring in Kristin and her beautiful Christmas sweater.
Oh.
Thank you, Rose. I appreciate that.
Welcome. Hello. I love reading all the comments, and Illy said something so funny. She said, it makes creationship.
A tramazing creationship.
And Emma is going to change her Facebook status to creationship. In a creationship. I love it.
See, I'm a songwriter, so I usually don't create words. I just create lyrics. But
in a creationship, that's
yeah,
that's awesome. I love it.
It's a tramazing creationship. I'm gonna go and trademark those words now. It's gonna be on a T-shirt soon. In a creationship.
Yes, I can.
Inspire Tribe. If you have any questions, then we'll just get our friends and see what happens.
Yes, go with the flow.
So, have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Say hello to friends you know. It's good to be back.
Thank you for being here with us.
We are excited to be with you.
Again.
Yes. We love that you made up a whole holiday season just to practice the state of joy. Wonderful, wonderful. That's the power of human creation. Powerful.
This is a really beautiful creation, right?
Yes. It's joy, it's
my
happiness.
Favorite.
It's a lot of times unconditional. And so we're all for it. Yes. It's our great, great joy to be with you and to answer any questions if there are any.
Well, there is a interesting question.
We like those. The boring ones do not excite us so much.
I have a Black Sky is asking, are there such things as mermaids? Illy is chiming in and saying, and dragons, are they still here?
Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. Yes. While some of these figures and creatures and even animals, if you will, exist in your visible realm, some of them simply exist in a slightly different dimension, which it will be so interesting to you once you have the full capacity to realize that again, because it is kind of like if you look at your computers and there are two websites that look very much alike, but there's just a slight difference in coding. And so one brings you to a different portal than the other one, but they very much look alike. So this is kind of how you can imagine those dimensions and realities that are parallel. However, these things absolutely exist. And mermaids and dragons and all of the other good things, they do absolutely exist within the potential or in the potential for humans to experience them even, not just outside of it.
Siobhan is asking, do our wishes need to get specific to create? Can we just focus on joy and happiness?
Oh, yeah. And this is the most beautiful part of the creative process is that you begin. So a desire comes naturally, usually out of a very aligned experience with all that is, where you receive it directly into your heart, or you are out and about living life as a human and out of either contrasty experience or just an experience that creates a very heightened feeling within you. It then creates a desire that you could call a wish or a desire, of course. But what happens is when you're in that level of excitement, naturally, and this is at the very beginning of it, naturally you start very general, as in, oh, it would feel so good to drive in a new car. And we're taking this as a very broad example. It could be a relationship. It could be a traveling. It could be anything, but we're taking this as a broad example. Oh, it would be so wonderful to drive in a brand new car, and how it would smell, the smell of the new leather, and how having these brand new wheels that no one has driven before, and then the color starts filling in, and then maybe the size of the car, whether it's a larger car or a small car, whether it has a roof or it doesn't, or it's removable like in a convertible. All of these details start filling in, but you start with the general feeling of how good would it feel to drive a brand new car, very, very general. And then the specifics start to fill in according to your priorities and your according to your taste. And then you start to see the color, and maybe you see the brand, and maybe you see the seats and the interior, maybe see how the steering wheel looks and what it feels like in your hands, and maybe you feel how much joy there is when you put your foot on the gas pedal. It could be a lot of joy, a lot of horsepower, and then you begin to imagine very, very precisely what you desire, and then you come to a conclusion. You really find it, and it feels perfect and aligned. That's the beginning process of your creation. And if you would do that, really, really enjoy this process when it happens, and then simply move into a state of appreciation for the desire fulfilled, and then just as you said, stay on joy and stay on happiness, things would move along very much faster usually than they are. But then you go back, and then you start being all realistic about it, and then you start comparing prices, and then you look at credit scores and all of the things that humans do, which then bring resistance into the mix. But if you were just to stay in this feeling of appreciation for the beautiful vision that you had received, things would move along a lot easier. So, in other words, the natural progression towards specifics is normal, and the joy will lead you there. But when your contrast leads you there, where you see things that you don't like, and then you try to move the opposite into the picture, which you do like, it begins to be a struggle. So we encourage you to let the natural unfolding of the desire happen, and then simply move into a general state of appreciation and joy, and do things that are fun. And the thing that you desire, the person that you desire, it will walk into your life.
Rose is asking, other than doing daily healings for people and practicing this skill, what else can I do to enhance this skill? I know I already have it, but I want to have it more.
A good way to get it more is to do it more, of course. And also understanding that it is a unique experience every time you do it. While you might use certain techniques, and while you might use your experience as one guidance factor, we encourage you to also always invite this connection, the highest, to give you guidance. So you will be more in the moment, using the current present state of power for you and the healing process, rather than simply following techniques or simply following stuff that you've learned. It's a very beautiful interwoven experience, because you allow both things to happen at the same time. What we mean by that is, the more you do it, the more it will become natural for you to sort of be spontaneous in it. And you will notice that there are whole new worlds that open in that process. And what maybe used to take you an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours is now happening within a few short minutes. So it is the practice of it, and the being open and present about the possibilities that are presenting themselves to you, with the premise to always invite the highest good for all involved.
Elise asking, can we time travel? And if yes, how?
We notice that she keeps coming back to that question. Yes, the answer is yes. And we would suggest, as we have suggested in the past, that as long as you are seeking to overcome an obstacle that you don't know the dimensions of, In your state of being awake, it will be very challenging for you. But if you use the state where you offer the very least resistance, which is your dream state, and we would encourage you to practice becoming the conscious creator of your dreams, and then creating what you call time travel in your dreams, just to realize that the very thing that you believe is time travel and how you believe it is the thing that is holding you back from experiencing this in your awakened state reality. Because time is not backwards or forward. It's not traveling back in time or forward in time. It is a parallel experience that happens in parallel worlds right next to this and to this and to this and to this. So moving over or switching over is way, way easier and more effortless than having to overcome the belief that you're going forward or backward.
Amar is asking, if our vibration is where I last left it on any given subject, how does elevating my variation make me unstuck from that subject?
Usually, the best thing you can do is to move from all of these ideas, move away from them altogether. And what children do, and you have to observe them to really see that, because you probably forgot, is when there is an unpleasant experience, they are, for a short period of time, allowing for the unpleasantness to move through them. They're not pushing against it. They're crying or they're sitting there and moping for a few short minutes. And what they then do is they don't look necessarily for a way to improve on the subject that they're on. They just look for the next thing that brings them joy. Just look around them. Could it be looking outside, looking outside the window? Could it be riding my bike? Could it be, checking out what that flower smells like? Could it be going into my brother's room and eating their candy? There is simply a natural magnetic pull to the next moment of joy. And they are not connecting it to the previous experience that wasn't so pleasant. They're not trying to improve that experience. They're ready for the next experience of joy. And in a unconscious trust that everything else would take care of itself, which it usually does. So this is the kind of, translated into your world, this is the kind of approach we would suggest, because it allows you to simply enjoy something without attaching it to your subject, without attaching it to the past or trying to fix something. And what you will see is that it isn't that the subject has a vibration. It is that you bring it to the subject. And so if you bring joy because you have just experienced joy, if you bring fun, if you bring love, if you bring freedom to it, then that subject will become just that for you: fun, joy, freedom, and a source of inspiration.
Well, the girls are writing and saying we just have to figure out how to lucid dream. And am I saying, is lucid dream when you are aware you are dreaming and control it?
Yes, it is the state, and the name really doesn't matter. What matters is that you are in a state where you realize, because you have facilitated the dream, there was an intention to dream it, and then when you are in the dream, you can actually control the narrative and what is happening within the scope of what you believe. If you believe that you can only control yourself in that dream, then that's how much you will have. If you believe that you can shift the whole narrative and every aspect in that dream, then that will be possible. But be aware that it is a greater, it requires a greater mental energy from you in the beginning to do that. But yes, that is the state. It's available to everyone. Everyone.
Can you explain how to do that?
We can explain the principle is that you detach your consciousness from your subconsciousness. And this is pretty much what, in every conversation, or almost every conversation, what we are telling you in different words. This is what you are learning when you're learning about yourself. It's when you take that which you have control over, which is your conscious mind in this moment, and detach it from your subconscious. And then before you go to sleep, you call on the depths that are within you, and you imagine creating a world and creating an experience and creating a narrative that will unfold while your body is asleep. And imagination is the key, because you need to imagine that state. You need to imagine the state of your body being asleep and being at rest, and of your non-physical part within you to have that experience in a reality that you create. And for that, you need to become aware of these different parts of you, because for the time that you are in that dream state, you are disconnecting them. And this is something that, why we say this is because it can, when it isn't done with great intention and care, cause for certain problems. Because when you take the non-physical part of you and move it out of your body, you have to have the strategy to return back to the body, or you will leave the body there to its own devices, where it can only last for so long. So all of this is a consideration, and we would encourage you to practice it in the state where, and this is now the most crucial part, that you practice this conscious aware dreaming in the state right before you fall asleep, when you're in the process of falling asleep, and you practice it and set the intention that you're going to have control over the experience in your dream for those 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes that you're drifting over, and begin focusing on that.
The next question is it all about joy? I'm asking because as soon as I'm having fun, something stupid happened. Why is that?
We can tell you that everything you do, every single thing that you do, is about feeling something. You can call this joy. But what it really is your natural desire to be in a state of well-being and satisfaction. So whatever it is that you desire, whoever it is that you desire to have in your life, wherever it is that you desire to live, all of those things, what car you desire to drive, what your apartment or house should look like, what your travel destination should be, what clothes you would like to wear, what music you want to listen to, all of those things are just external triggers for you, because what you do is you believe that once you will be doing those things, riding that bike, kissing that partner, driving that car, having that money, you will feel a certain way. It's all about the feeling. If you remove the feeling from the equation, there's absolutely no need to have those things, because only the anticipation of feeling really, 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 really good about it and really enjoying the vacation makes it worthwhile. If you weren't able to enjoy, what would be the point? There would be no point. So what we want you to know is that the feeling not just can, but comes first. When you realize that the feeling is something that is inside of you, then you produce that state within you more and more often, whether that's joy, excitement, exhilaration, whatever it is that you desire, and realize that everything that matches that feeling has to come into your life. So in other words, if you're really, really a fan of, let's say, hot air balloon flights, then when you produce that feeling of joy inside of you, of pure freedom, of levitating, of flying, and you allow that feeling to become your vibration and maybe even dominant vibration, then that experience that matches the feeling must come into your life. And it will be probably far more than just hot air balloon flights. So we want to thank you for those questions. We want to thank you for always desiring to expand. We want to bring all of this back to you. We will continue to say, the instant that a question is, the answer is born as well. Both belong together, and they are within you. Now, sometimes you choose a path where you involve others in the helping to hear those answers, and that is okay. But we want you to know that it's all within you, that you are absolutely capable, able. You have all the tools to expand in bigger ways than you previously imagined. And that there is no timeline or limit that will allow or trigger this. It is now. When you decide it is now, and how big it can get is up to you. If you remove the limitations, remove the ifs and the buts, if you remove the shoulds and the coulds and the woulds, then you turn to your true natural power. And then the magic begins. It truly does. And each and every one of you has that potential to literally shift their whole experience right now. Right now. It is a decision. You need to make it in a way where you never ever go back. As you should make all decisions. Decisions don't have a safety net and they don't have back doors. Live your life like that, and you will experience the true power and the true joy of conscious co-creation.
Thank you.
This has been good.
Beautiful expansion.
Thank you for allowing us to be with you.
Thank you for being here with us.
And so.
It is.
And so.
It is.
And so.
It is. Thank you. Beautiful expansion. I love it.
Yes.
Huh.
Inspired Tribe. This was
It's been quite a ride.
a tramazing creation ship this year.
Oh, Black Sky says it's my birthday week. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Black Sky. We love you. Black Sky is one of the original founding members of the tribe. She's been with us from the beginning. The Inspired Tribe was our greatest manifestation this year, and we didn't even consciously make it. We just desired to be of assistance and help. And a lot of wonderful things happened with you and because of you. My gosh, all of the things that happened, it feels like 5 years, not 1 year. But we are excited, we're joyful, we're appreciative, we're proud. And it's been a wonderful journey with you. And we look forward to the next chapter. Feels like we're closing one. And the next chapter begins in a few weeks. And we believe that amazing expansion is going to happen.
Yeah.
We see a few breakout stars. And everyone's different, but we see a few breakout stars in the Inspired Tribe. Just some that are so ready that they're jumping out of the gate and ready for almost unbelievable expansion. Some will take it slower just because it's their guidance. It's not better or worse. It's just different. But we see probably just from now till we see each other again, we believe there might be as big of an expansion as over the whole year, this year happening. And just be open, be ready, be willing, and stand in your truth.
Be authentic.
Be authentic.
Be who you are.
Because you are that for a reason. Live that. That's what only you can do.
Oh, everyone's saying happy birthday. That's sweet.
Happy birthday, Black Sky. We love you. Merry Christmas to everyone. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the time. If there's anything you need, then please, reach out and we'll do what we can to help. We love you all.
I just write the email down here. If you need help, inspiredliving@gmail.com, or need a EUCY session or whatever it is, we're here.
Yes, just let us know. All right, tribe. Be wonderful. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy yourselves. We love you. And we'll see you next year. Next year, 2021.
Merry Christmas.
This is going to be exciting.
Yes.
We love you.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Love and hugs and kisses.